just walk out on stage, naked as a jaybird, my arms like this, right? And I don't even dance. Nope. Don't shake it, don't dance, don't nothing. I just stand there like a statue.
Don't like what you're looking at?
Don't like what you're looking at,
Pay
you
me.
know.
I'll
Pay
put
me,
it away.
motherfucker. I'll put some clothes on. But you know,
Socks are extra.
Socks are
No,
extra.
no, because if you throw me a 5 or a 10, you know, I'm putting on one sock. You said put something on, and you only threw me $5. That's a sock.
Small bills or small pieces of clothing. Want me to put my pants on? I better see a 50.
You know, if someone's intelligent, they could tell me where to put the sock.
Red Hot Chili Peppers it.
Here, I'll give you $2. That sock goes around there. Yep, there you go.
Damn.
Problem solved, folks.
Not
What the
really.
fuck?
Not really. I'm not sure that's the scary part to look at. It's the rest of the flab.
I don't know. We also forget that people have the option of closing their eyes.
Yeah, but people also forget that they have that option.
You make a good point. It's kind of like a car wreck. No matter
Look
how
away.
much you
Look
want to
away.
look away, you can't.
Nope. Your ass is staring.
The fuck is that?
So I'm a little ill prepared this morning as well. I want to try something with Rob and Dean here that I don't have rolled up. So bear with me, people.
And I'm kind of underprepared for this episode too, considering the content we're going to be getting into.
So
I just needed to organize my thoughts so it wasn't an entire ramble, but we're going to be in for a ramble today.
yeah. So anyway, while I'm getting ready with this, so I have a sample weed here from one of our other partners.
Oh, yeah.
We've got plenty of our own weed, but we've been going through it so quickly that we honestly at this point might need to buy some weed from somebody else just to have it to sell. But they gave us a sample of one of their products to test out, so we're gonna test that this morning. It's something called Gush Mints. It actually smells pretty fucking good. But while I'm getting that around, why don't we jump into our other topic? Ooh. Oh, God. Ooh, excuse
I'll
me.
let Dean start this
Yeah,
one
we'll
off.
start this with Dean. So, Dean, I have a topic that I wanted to go over with you and Rob. It's not weed related.
Okay.
So I was honestly wondering what kind of drew you to your style of music. You've said several times that you like sludge metal and like stoner metal, that kind of stuff. You know, Rob likes the other end of the spectrum, the extremely technical, high.
Yeah, that's what I tend to
fucking
gravitate
Well, I
to,
guess
but we'll cover that when we get to that.
Unknowingly, before I looked into it more, it would be like Sabbath and stuff like that, because just like the whole entire genre is literally rooted from Sabbath.
The entire genre was basically created by
And-
a couple of insane motherfuckers.
But my big influence that brought me into like sludge and everything was Corrosion of Conformity. And then through listening to multiple bands, the bands that really brought me into the doom was Sleep. And what was great about Sleep, with the progression of metal and everything, it's like, you know, the late 80s now, and they're like in high school, they're like, remember Sabbath? Why didn't anyone continue with that? So,
Yeah, that's good. What would you say draws you to it?
a lot of the, even though it's a lot of repeating simple chord progressions, a lot of the sonic qualities that are in it are so massive, and a lot of the amps they use tend to have almost their own modulation by themselves. One of the things that Sleep had that brought me to the genre was Met Amp. It's a specific amp that's used a lot within the genre. and up until a certain point wasn't made anymore. So they were kind of like super rare to come by.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Fucking
That and the just overall massive sound the bands have.
yeah, massive. I like the massive sounds too. Is it your favorite genre to play?
Pretty much, yeah. I like the stoner sound, the more older. It's kind of like a fusion of the sounds, and then
Well, I mean, is it your favorite genre to play? Like, if you were gonna pick up your guitar and just start plucking away at it, would you?
I do some rooted like sound like that, or more when I'm drop tuned, Static X sounding kind of simple, heavy riffs.
Evil disco.
Evil disco.
Evil disco.
That was my other love.
That's what Static X is coined as, is evil disco.
Yeah.
And actually, if you listen to a lot, if you listen to a lot of the drum grooves in Static X's music, it's a lot of disco beats.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Actually, same with Dave Grohl too. A lot of the iconic fucking Nirvana drum beats.
70s pop.
Yep, he ripped off from 70s pop and disco.
And everybody thinks he's such a great drummer.
Like that opening drum fill for Smells Like Teen Spirit. I can't remember what group it was, but it was one of those disco groups. He ripped off the opening fill from it and just changed the timing, just very slightly. Like, so slightly, you can hardly even tell the difference.
Damn.
It's just they're so far separated by time and genre, and no one really correlated it till he said something.
Did he have to pay?
No, you can't copyright a little music idea like that.
Ah, okay.
But then
It'd be the same as like copywriting a chord progression. If someone did that, there'd be no music.
Yeah.
That's why you hear 90% of pop songs use the same 4 fucking chords. You can copyright a song, you cannot copyright a progression.
Fucking, I actually seen that the other day. Someone was like, "Here, let me play a pop song," and they played 4 chords, and they're like, "Oh wait, I think I saw it with you." The guy was standing on stage, and the one guy was playing like the same 4 chords over and over, and he sung like 7 or 8 different songs, just strung them right together because they all fit right together.
Yep. And it's usually the 1-4-5-1 progression that's used, maybe 1-4-5-6 depending on the pop song, but it's usually some sort of 4-5-1 turnaround at the end for the progression. But even then, because I got looking into it a bit more, and yeah, it seems kind of lame and cheesy that they all use the same 4 fucking chords, but the genius is in everything else around those 4 chords. Because I shit you not, I learned. And I played on occasion a country cover of Bruno Mars's "Blinded by the Light." Shit you not, same 4 chords, same exact order, whole fucking song. The only reason everything sounds like it changes is because the instrumentation around it, and that's where the genius of the writing comes in.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool.
Yep, like the bass line changes to modulate and emphasize different notes, like say in the chorus versus the verse, which completely changes up the feel, but you're not changing the chords whatsoever. It's all about harmonic context at that point.
Sweet. Fucking.
Hence why the bass is so important.
So, not to segue, but to kind of include our other topic, was there any other reasons to that drew you to the sludge shit?
Well, at the time, listening to like Corrosion Conformity and Acid Bath and Buzz Oven, it sounded so different than what the music was around me. And
yeah, anti-conformist. Don't like to be the same. Don't feel bad. I'm the same way. I used to listen to punk music when I was a kid, while everybody else was listening to rap and pop.
All right.
You know, my favorite band when I was like 10 or 11 was Rancid.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking loved Rancid.
Nice.
Fucking, they're like, I don't know of any band left that can truly call themselves a punk band other than Rancid. You know, everything else is, you know, modern punk or that hardcore punk, or you got metalcore and shit like that. But Rancid is straight up punk rock. Yeah. They still are. They always have been. And, you know, kind of like it.
Yeah.
Always have. Fucking, they're definitely not the hardest band.
That's why I usually stick to the old school ones. Dead Kennedys, Black Flag, Bad Religion, Anti-Flag.
Oh, you just reminded me. I need to, we're not being sponsored, by the way. I think I covered that last week.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by anything we talk about. We're just rabid fans of the shit that we talk about. Yeah. And we're nerds, so.
Well, this applies to our area. I need to go get tickets.
Isn't Black Flag coming?
I don't know about them,
Black
but
Flag
Dropkick Murphy and Bad Religion are going to be at Tags.
That's the one I'm thinking of, Bad Religion.
I thought Henry Rollins permanently retired from the road.
I don't care. I want to go see...
Henry Rollins is in Bad Religion?
No, he's in Black Flag.
Oh.
I want to go see...
okay.
I want to see 21st Century Digital Boy played. You know that song, right?
No.
Do you know that song? By Bad Religion?
Oh.
Not offhand.
21st Century Digital Boy.
I probably heard it.
My favorite one is You.
You?
Yep. It was on the Tony Hawk soundtrack when we were a kid.
I probably know it.
Yeah, you probably do.
I played a lot of Tony Hawk.
It's a really good one. That's actually probably why I like punk music the way that I do in retrospect, because you'd have them on there. Fucking Dead Kennedys was on that soundtrack.
So,
Police Truck. Fucking. Yo, speaking of Megadeth's last album, they did a cover of Police Truck. Oh. It was really fucking good.
So, I gotta ask, seeing as how you guys brought it up, I assume you both played Tony Hawk when you were kids?
Yeah.
What was your longest Tony Hawk run from Tony Hawk's 1 through 4?
I don't know.
Because if you remember correctly, Tony Hawk 1 through 4...
2 Underground was the one I played the most.
Underground doesn't count, because Underground was just free world, free roam. But Tony Hawk 1 through 4, if you remember correctly, it drops you into the skate park and you have 2 minutes to skate. Oh, yeah. That is it. But you can trick the system. If you're in the middle of doing a trick, it won't end your run until you're done with the trick. And you can,
as long as you can string the combo together long enough, you can just keep milking it.
Dude, I had a 45-minute run.
Oh, wow.
On the boat. You remember the boat? I think it was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, where you got, it was one of the end levels. You got to skate around on that cruise ship.
Oh, wow.
I did 45 minutes on this. So I had like a fucking like, I can't even remember. It was like a 20 million score or some shit like that. Well, yeah, because I kept stringing shit together. So I went up and I did this trick, and on my way back down, I had 0 time left. So on my way back down, I manualed out of it. And normally I don't get the manual. You know what I'm saying? Normally I just, I either crash or I fucking land, just land the trick. I don't hit the manual. Well, I hit the manual this time, wrote it out to going up the next thing, and then I started grinding on everything like around the ship. I sat there and fucking grinded for like 40 minutes. And if you remember that game, that was difficult because the longer you grind, the more that fucking thing just goes like this. You know, trying to make you fall the fuck off there. Like it was so fucking difficult. And like I strung so many tricks together because like that's how I got such a high score. You had to hit the multiplier. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there grinding. I do a kick flip, go back to my grind, jump, do like an indie or something, go back to my grind, you know what I'm saying? But fuck, dude, that was You know, and it was one of those things where I kept the points too, because you know if you fail that trick, you lose the entire combo, right? Well, at the very end where I fucked up is, you know how when you're grinding, sometimes you'll get the red side and then you'll get the green side. If you hit the green side, it just lands the trick and you ride out. Fucking, well, it leaned me a little too far to the green and I fucking rode the trick out. You know what I'm saying? But it was fucking awesome.
That is awesome. I never heard of anyone doing that.
You know what song I had playing on that soundtrack on repeat doing that?
What?
The Ace of Spades.
Oh, I said
Nice.
I remember that, dude. That's the very first time I ever heard Motorhead was
shit.
on the fucking Tony Hawk soundtrack. Fucking, I'm just playing along. I think I was like 8 or 9, something like that. I was young, you know, just got my first Tony Hawk game, and all of a sudden I hear, and I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah, but lifelong love of punk music start, you know, right about there.
Yeah.
Motorhead's a good one too, because they are kind of like early hardcore punk.
Yeah.
Somewhere between that and thrash, which thrash is just hardcore punk anyway.
Right, they were like the originators of hardcore punk,
Just
almost.
more gallops.
Yeah, fucking.
Well, I mean, it's arguably like with thrash. I mean, the speed of Lars wouldn't have existed without Filthy. He fucking adored Filthy.
No, actually, there was another song. It wasn't even them. I can't remember what the name of the band was. I remember hearing it in an Anthrax interview.
Oh.
Actually, there was this song called Shark Attack, I guess, that was supposed to be insanely fast at the time with double kick. And,
I've heard of this song.
the fuck is their drummer's name? It's gonna... I'm ashamed of myself. I can't remember fucking Anthrax's drummer. Charlie Benante.
Okay.
He was able to play it spot on, but he was actually faster than the recording, and that's how he got the spot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and actually a lot of the thrash metal sound owes from a small, tiny little British band called Budgie.
Oh.
You know that droning that Metallica does, always on the single string? That's where they got it from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't Metallica cite that band as one of their biggest influences?
Yeah, that's
and
how-
they're like
that's how
not
Dave-
famous.
That's how Dave Mustaine got the spot, because under the want ad that he found is like they also must be a fan of Budgie.
Oh.
And even in that time, no one knew who they were, but Dave did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons he got the spot.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, even Metallica said it like that Budgie band, they are so under-recognized for what they've done, like to several genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Fucking, yeah. It's kind of like
There's another French band too. I can't remember the name of it, but Anthrax's song "Got the Time." That's a cover. And at the time, the original version of that song was one of the fastest songs you could play. Anthrax did it faster. Yep, I'm gonna have to listen to that song later because now it's stuck in my head.
You know what that makes me wonder? Dragon Force. I wonder if they were just sitting around one day
Kind
doing
of.
a whole bunch of coke and speed.
No.
Going, we can go faster. No, I'm
No,
kidding.
they're alcoholics.
Oh, Jesus.
Actually, that's
How the
kind.
fuck
That's
does that
kind of.
work?
That's kind of almost actually what happened. Sam Topman, not Herman Lee, the one that everyone knows, but the other guitar player. He's actually one of the founding members of Dragon Force, and his whole thought process behind it was like, why don't I take all my favorite parts of power metal and put them together? And hence they actually kind of hold their own subgenre within power metal called extreme power metal. One of their albums is called Extreme Power Metal.
No shit.
Yes, that's the same album that's got their cover of My Heart Will Go On it, and it's so fucking good. They did that one and Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire. Both of them are bangers.
You know something? Have you ever heard one of Johnny Cash's last songs that he made, which is a cover?
Yeah. He made several in the end. Which one?
Hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that song. Fucking, He recorded that shit when he was like 80-something years old.
He did Rusty Cage too.
Yep.
Fucking still sounded amazing.
There's a cool story of Chris Cornell tells of like he gets a call one day. He's like, "Hello, I would like to speak to Chris. This is Johnny Cash." And he's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Son, you have a song called Rusty Cage, and I would like your permission to play." And he's like, "Permission? You're Johnny Cash." Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly about how that phone call would go for anyone. Yes, this is a Man in Black. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Anything you want. Yes, you've already got it.
That's all you had to say.
It's just some of those people. It's kind of like, at this point in the game, if fucking James Hetfield called any of these new metal bands and said, "Hey, I want to play your song," they'd be like, "Yes, okay, yes."
No, I doubt it.
Why?
Metalheads are different.
Yeah, but Metallica's the one.
Metalheads are different. You ever see a metal band covering another metal band? Unless it's one of the titans of the genre? No. That would be the same as Black Sabbath covering Metallica. Not gonna happen. Kind of veered off topic. He's
A
finishing.
little bit.
He's finishing up his joint.
All right. So I've got the joint ready. We've spent a good portion of this morning asking Dean where he came from with
Oh boy.
his musical kind of stuff. I like to go down this road because we don't normally talk about music, and that is kind of half of what this show is about.
Mostly about pot.
Well, it's supposed to be about pot and music. When we originally created it, it was supposed to be to showcase our stuff that we were doing, as well as the pot and everything. And fucking, it's kind of why I'm asking where your musical influences come from, so people can understand where you're coming from. So, Rob,
Do we want the long answer?
I want whatever answer you feel like giving me.
Oh, I guess where do we
was
start?
the 90s. No.
It was a different time.
No, it was more or less early 2000s because I was 11 when I finally started playing. But no, actually, no, you are kind of right. It was the early 90s because when I went to wholesale, one of the assignments I had for one of the English classes I had to take was trying to figure out like your own musical background. Like you had, literally, they want us to sit down and think back and go all the way back and figure everything out. And I did that, and I got thinking, like, I remember seeing photos of myself when I was like 2 or 3 years old, stringing like toy instruments along with me all the time. And the most prevalent one was a fucking guitar.
Nice.
That makes
Go
sense.
Figure.
So, what drew you to the extreme music?
Being a pissed off teenager, if you really want the short answer on that one. I mean, anyone that's listened to that kind of stuff, it's very, very violent and very, very aggressive.
Yeah, and that's a common stereotype. People think that everybody who listens to metal is just like an asshole, and they're not.
Well, I mean, they do kind of get it right. We are a really, really angry bunch. It's just unlike a lot of other genres and culture groups, we have a very good outlet for it.
We embrace our anger.
Well, it's not really we embrace it, it's we can process it a little bit better. And having a good outlet for it. Fuck, I still haven't really answered the question. This is going to be a long dance around. I guess it really all depends on how you look at it. Because, yeah, there is that element of just being that pissed off teenager still and liking the really, really aggressive, abrasive sounds. But after years and years of theory study and whatnot while listening to it and actively making it, it gives you a whole different respect for the genre because of how much it actually entails to do that kind of stuff. Whether or not the actual artist doing so know what they're doing. You do not need to know music theory to write a good song, but it does not hurt.
That's true. But yeah, I know it wasn't just the fact that you were a pissed off teenager that drew you to the music. There's got to be more to it than that.
No. Actually, it just kind of grew from there. Like, that's why I brought up the fact of the subject matter.
Well, again, it's got to be more to it than that because I couldn't tell you how many pissed off teenage friends that I had that listen to nothing but gangster rap now because it talks about, shooting people, getting money, fucking bitches, that kind of shit.
That's escapism. That's not actually embracing it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's got to be more to you just being a pissed off teenager.
That's escapism.
Yeah.
Look at how metal handles it versus that genre. Metal actually puts you in those emotions and forces you to deal with them.
With a lot of my genre, I don't even follow the lyrics on some bands. It's literally just the immersive sound of the whole chord progression and drums and everything together that I'm like.
Because it's a giant wall of noise.
Yeah.
So it's really like even if you were to ask another person that's in my genre, they're going to give you a completely different answer than I would. That's where a lot of it comes from. And the rest, like I was saying, is just theoretical study. Because beyond that, I listen to more than just extreme music, okay? Like you read some of the shit I was listening to this morning, I'll jump from 50s and 60s pop, classical, video game shit.
But would you call your writing style a progressive metal writing style?
No, I write music with distortion on it.
Oh, okay.
That's really it. Because I make heavy extreme music, but the way I actually write it's some of it's based on just like gut feeling, and I'll roll with it. That's why I'm a big advocate for learning theory. It's not that it like diminishes your creative ability or anything, but it's also like just practicing the instrument. You practice it to the point it's second nature. The more you understand about theory and those kind of principles, when you just kind of zone out and let everything take over, that shit kind of seeps through it. That, and if you hit a roadblock, like, oh, I'm stuck at this point. How do I get from this point to that point? You got your tool belt right there. But even then, like, the way I approach writing these songs is I don't think about it as, oh, I'm going to make a metal song. I spent so many years acquiring these tools. It's just kind of what I do. So a lot of the ideas I do pull from people like the Beatles. A lot of my structure and whatnot I've borrowed from video games after studying a lot of the breakdowns on how their chord progressions, melodic sequences, phrasing, voice leading works. Even classical. One of the shred guitarists I like, Angel Vivaldi, actually said the same thing. He's like, I don't make metal, I just make guitar music with distortion on it.
That's kind of funny.
It's all a sound design choice. Like another content creator I watch, he posted a video a while ago at this point, and I'm sure it was pretty divisive amongst the community, but he's right. Metal isn't really a genre. It's a sound design aesthetic. Because what are the only things that actually make a metal song? Distorted guitars, fast, heavy drums, and aggressive vocals. You can do that in any genre.
Yeah.
and it would still, you could write it as a pop song, but use those elements. It would be considered metal because of the sound design choices.
Yeah, how many times have you heard a pop song where halfway through the song the screamer starts like or the singer? I said screamer.
Well,
the singer starts either screaming or yelling at you. You know, and it's a pop song, and everybody says, "Oh, I can't stand those songs that yell at me." Yet you will listen to that song where that bitch is like, "And he fucked my baby, my best friend," blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's really just a sound design choice at that point. So,
like we consider Soundgarden grunge, but they set out to be like the darkest pop band.
yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yes.
They wanted to be a dark pop band.
That's right, dark pop music.
I
guess that's what grunge is.
I mean, you can't. Yeah.
That, and also for me, it's kind of like with Dean. It's not like the It is the wall of sound just because it's big. It's also the epicness of it. Like, let's face it, we're all from that generation, and probably one of the reasons why we like the genre we do is some of the theme songs we grew up with. We're all Dragon Ball fans.
Yeah.
Rock the Dragon.
Let's
Power Rangers.
I was gonna say, let's go even younger. Let's start with Power Rangers. We were all probably like 2 or 3 when we started listening to that, and that is.
And you wonder why I ended up like doing what I do. Well, also part of it, now that I think about it, is I've never once. I mean, it does bite me sometimes because it does get really kind of lonely being me. But I've adamantly always been someone to go kind of like against the grain of what my friends are doing a little bit. And music was one of those, mainly because everyone and their brother was listening to the same shit, like Slipknot, Disturbed, this, that, and I was like, no, I'm good. I ended up, a buddy of mine turned me on to Megadeth, and I started going down that rabbit hole. Then I ended up finding bands like Trivium, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and it just kind of went in that direction.
Dude, I'll give you one better. So I like metalcore. I've always liked punk and hardcore punk, right? You know what all my friends listen to? Like all of my friends other than you guys?
Rap.
Fucking rap. All of them. So I grew up literally listening to like fucking Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, and I mean, I don't mind those guys. Like, if I'm gonna listen to rap, those are probably the only 3 that I'll ever put on. And I'm not even bullshitting you.
Yeah.
But like, and then they all started listening to that Jadakiss shit. When we got older, everybody wants to listen to Drake and Lil Wayne and all that bull. I fucking hate that shit. And like, I went so far in the other direction. I went like as far away from that shit as I could, just because that's what people listen to.
No, mine kind of stayed within because a lot of my friends listen to the heavier stuff. I kind of have a feeling a lot of them grew out of it, but I didn't.
How can you grow out of something you like? I don't understand that. I've never understood that. Like, I could understand if it does something to you.
Well, that's the difference, though, because I've discovered that about myself over the years. There's a difference between liking and loving something. Like a lot of the things that are still like mainstays that I do to this day are things that I absolutely love. Beyond that, everything else is just something I like to kill the time, and every once in a while I'll do it. And I can't honestly think of anything like that anymore because I only been trying to focus on doing the shit that I love anymore.
I can think of something like that, but it doesn't. It's more along the lines of work.
True. Ooh, an odd influence. Actually, you won't find this odd at all. Danny Elfman.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like, I grew up with Nightmare Before Christmas and stuff like that, so I was huge into Danny Elfman's music. And then when I got into when I was a teenager, I discovered his band Oingo Boingo. I can't play it on air, but at some point I'll play it for you guys. It's one of their longer songs. It's called Insanity. One of my fucking favorites.
Hell yeah.
So that, and I have spent a good chunk of time composing for film, short films and whatnot as well.
Okay.
That thing I kind of
So-
happened to stumble upon, actually. That one's actually kind of a funny story, too. It was a long fucking time ago when I was working at Friendly's. Early 20s. My buddy of mine, Justin, he's supposed to be getting back into making films, I believe, but we worked at Friendly's together at the time, and I found out he was an amateur filmmaker, and I always had this weird idea to do like a deathcore version of the Phantom of the Opera. So I presented the idea to him. He thought it was really cool, and then next thing I know, we're off making short films, this, that, and the other thing, and I became an amateur composer, and it just kind of carried on, and I've married the two together because it's very, very easy to do. Like for a good example, Black Dahlia Murder. A lot of their more melodic songs, those kind of single note riffs are very, very classical style. It's pedal point.
Nice.
Same with like Trivium's melodic songs and whatnot.
So I don't mean to cut you off, but I can kind of hear it. Might as well put a subject on this topic. I was going to ask you what some of your biggest influences are. You've already mentioned like 4 bands in this ramble.
That's a long list too.
Well, I
Like,
mean, you
there's-
just mentioned Black Dahlia Murder, Trivium. You mentioned Danny Elfman a minute ago.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them if we really want to go down that
But what
rabbit
are your
hole.
biggest influences?
That depends on how you want to look at it.
The stuff you take the most inspiration from. I can name 2 of them right now. They're the 2 you just named. Well, 3 of them. Hell, they're the 3 you just named. You fucking, the guy from Trivium, you told me
Oh,
the
Matt
other
Heafy.
day.
I like Matt Heafy.
Yeah, you fucking just sit there and watch him fucking play something just so you can learn how to play it.
Well, kind of. I just like watching the dude play. Yeah, those guys I like because of songwriting. Like I said, I have different classes when it comes to different influences and whatnot. Yeah, earlier on they were like more of a big guitar influence because you can't deny it. They have some really, really fast songs, and even live, they are record perfect. These guys are exceptional fucking players. Is it the most technical music on the planet? No. Is it very, very well crafted? Yes. So their influence on me has changed over the years, going from more of a performance aspect to a writing aspect.
Kind of both at that point.
Yep. AC/DC is actually honestly the biggest one,
Yeah,
surprisingly.
same here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the reason why I put a guitar in my hands. And part of it was because I can't remember how I got into them when I was younger. I'm not exactly 100% certain how. It was either a combination of my mother or someone at school or somewhere along those lines, but I ended up going down that rabbit hole. Then I found out that Angus Young is really like 5'2". No, he's shorter than that. I don't even think he's 5 foot tall. Anyway, he's this really, really short, quiet,
Yeah.
reserved guy. Like if you were to just meet him on the street, he is the
hi, how you
exact. Yeah, he is a complete 180 of his stage persona. And I'm like, as a kid that was exactly like that, I'm like, yo, this is fucking cool.
Yo, there's
So-
a lot of singers out there. The singer
Bon
from,
Scott actually was like that. He was kind of
the
quiet and
singer
soft spoken
from
also.
Wage War right now is like that.
Trevor Sternad, before he passed away, he was he wasn't like that. He was a very, very big people person. I really wish I could have met him. He was a big stoner too. That was half the reason why I wanted to meet him, but I just
You
want to meet
smoke
those.
one with him?
Yeah, smoke
So-
one with him, sit down, hang out, talk about death metal and music.
Another chill one.
I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Jess Margera.
we
Yep.
Who?
from him?
No.
No?
CKY.
Oh, I always get those two
They,
confused.
yeah, no, that they had. Bam loves him, but his brother's in CKY.
Yeah, I that's probably
Seriously?
why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never actually knew that, and I know CKY.
Yeah,
Yep.
the drummer is Bam's brother.
No wonder Bam always had CKY
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Yep, he was
yeah.
always
That's why.
rapping.
Yeah,
Brother, is that no? I can't remember. Is that Big Bro or Little Bro?
big brother.
Big Bro.
Yeah. But you would have
And
swore
no wonder Bam got popular as a skateboarder. Because I'm sorry,
if you didn't
he was
know
not that good.
If you
No.
didn't know he was Jess Margera, you would swear you're just chilling with a random fucking townie at the bar
Yeah.
who loves chain smoking and fucking just hanging with people and drinking beer. Like,
Did you smoke weed?
yeah, but like,
wait. I skipped you. I'm sorry, Dean.
but just nice as could be, complete polar opposite of his brother.
Yo, Bam's an asshole. He really
His wife's
is.
sweet though. His wife kept me from getting kicked out.
Who?
Bam's wife.
Surprising he's married. Anyway,
Yeah. I remember when they were getting married. She did a Playboy shoot, like a centerfold shoot. You remember that? Remember who took the pictures?
No, wait, no, wait. What? They did.
It was
Play-
on one episode of Viva La Bam. She actually did a Playboy
Oh,
shoot.
I didn't remember that.
Yep.
No.
Bam took the pictures.
oh, makes sense.
Makes sense. I mean,
No, I'm glad we had that little side tangent because I had to prioritize my mental list. No, it's that's why I hate these kind of questions and getting into this subject matter sometimes because it's all over the
You
fucking
want me
place.
to? You want me to simplify it? Kind of bring both of our subjects together. You kind of just started talking about it. Do you have a list of musicians that you'd like to sit down and smoke with?
No, just those guys.
Just them?
Yeah.
I have a list of people that I'd like to smoke one with.
Well, I watched a couple behind the scenes documentary. I like watching the behind the scenes stuffs on a lot of bands. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these guys I'd like to meet and pick their brains just musically and like have some musical exchange with them, but just seeing the like their personalities, it would be like hanging out with you guys on top of them being the Black Dahlia murder.
So,
Like I could like genuinely I would get along with those kind of guys
there are.
without it being like always just like straight music
I was.
the
Gonna,
whole time.
there's 3 musicians that I would sit down and smoke with, and it would have no, like, it's not because of the music at all. It's because of who they are. I would love to sit down and smoke with these guys. You know who they are? Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson, and Tommy Chong.
I wonder if Tony Iommi still smokes.
I don't
You
know.
see, I would sit down and talk to him about the music, and then the smoking would be secondary. But
That I
those
don't
other
know.
3 don't care about the music. I just want to smoke with you. Like, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
they've also got a big reputation as stoners on top of being musicians.
Right. I don't even really want to smoke with Cheech. Like, I
'Cause
mean,
isn't-
that would be cool, but I want to smoke with Chong.
Correct me. if-
Actually, no. Not now that I think about it, after watching a few videos and whatnot, I'm more than certain the 2 guitarists in a Legion partake. I would love to smoke with those 2, not only because I could learn from them, but they seem chill as fuck.
Correct me
There you
if
go,
I'm
bro.
wrong, but it's Tony coughing into the mic for Sweet Leaf, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I thought it was.
I always thought it was Tony Iommi.
It's one of the members of the band. It's either Tony or Ozzy.
Yeah, it's either Tony or Ozzy. I can't remember which one.
It
Sounds more like Tony though than Ozzy.
It could be Tony, but I remember they needed an opening for it, and one of the guys thought it would be funny just to record somebody coughing in the opening.
yeah.
So one of them grabbed the bong and hit the bong and hit record. I remember that interview. It was like in the 80s when they were talking about that. Or no, it was probably 90s.
Dude, even in his cocaine days, he is the English gentleman of metal.
Yeah.
Because
He
there's
really
this dude
is.
where I would be getting pissed at how fucking like just bad this interview is going, but he's just sitting there, and like you could tell, like you see it in his eyes, he's like
Coked out of his mind.
coked out of his mind, but he's just sitting there. Yes, you know,
patient as a saint.
Yeah.
Tony Iommi's the man.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe he had a touch of the ADHD? He's calming himself down?
Could be. Could very well be. But
Because let's be
One
serious.
does not just chop off the ends of their fingers and start an entire genre.
yeah. Yeah. But no, I do kind of hate the influence question because if I really go down the list, apart from like AC/DC, a few of the other bands I've mentioned, like Black Dahlia Murder, Legion, Trivium, there's shit like Queen, Led Zeppelin, Sabbath, the Beatles.
Yo, I'll be honest with you. You want to know one of my influences into the kind of shit that I like to listen to now? And it's kind of weird, especially the genre that I like, knowing that I don't like this other genre. ZZ Top.
Oh, I like ZZ Top too. They
Right,
weren't an
but-
influence, but they were just fun to listen to. I like them.
They were an influence on what I listen to now. Now, you guys both know I do not like country music. ZZ Top is
ZZ
Southern
Top,
rock.
they're more blues. That's where a lot of their
Right.
foundation is blues music.
Do you know how many country musicians have made like a crossover rock song that's basically Southern rock from back in the day?
Yeah.
That I actually really love these songs, but I don't like country music.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
Southern
close
rock,
to country
Southern
music,
rock
but it's
is
not.
more of like a blend of rock and blues.
Yeah.
More than it is like rock and country.
Yeah, but these guys are straight country singers.
Yeah.
Country artists. Like that fucking Jelly Roll.
Yeah, so they're making
Um,
country rock and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you can't, obviously, you can't deny it. They grew up in the South, and it's fucking ZZ Top. They're from the South, too. Of course.
Yeah.
That's
ZZ
like
Top's from
region.
Texas.
Yeah, those are regional heroes. So that's kind of makes sense.
I'll be honest with you, ZZ Top's one of the reasons I grew out a beard the first time.
But
And when I realized it wasn't going to be straight, I shaved it off.
no, I've also got other.
I want the long, straight beard. I don't want a curly beard.
Did I
want
mention Meatloaf?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
Oh, okay. No, that surprisingly, Meatloaf has been a big one. Because you know how I kind of gravitate towards the big epic scores and whatnot. That's why.
Bad out of hell.
But yep, the Bad Out of Hell albums, the whole trilogy, not just the first album, but yes, that song in particular, Bad Out of Hell.
Isn't that song-
I fucking love
In
that
in its
one.
entirety, isn't that song like 8-9 minutes long? Something like that. It's a fucking long
Closer
song.
to 8. I actually want to say it's less than 8.
Really?
Yeah. One of the longer.
For its time, it was very long.
No,
No?
the one I'm about to mention. One of the other ones that long running songs I've always really enjoyed the composition on is Led Zeppelin's Achilles' Last Stand. That one sits at 10.5 minutes.
Fucking,
I enjoy that.
we don't want to go down this rabbit hole.
Dope Smoker.
Oh God, yeah, Dope Smoker wins.
No. We got to go mainstream.
No, but
No,
you
Dope
asked for a
Smoker holds the world record.
I
You
know,
can't.
but we
It's-
got to go mainstream.
It's by
something that
genre.
everybody
Well,
knows.
you asked
You
for our
do know-
genres, motherfucker, and
You do
and it-
know what song in particular we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
it's a 45 and a half minute,
42
and a half minute song, complete song.
Yep.
I know somebody.
It's
who's
complete.
got-
It's completely controlled by the drums.
It's fucking nuts.
I know somebody who's got a song that's almost just as long.
Ooh,
Fucking Pink Floyd.
not a single song.
Their song Echoes is like 34 minutes long.
I've never heard of that one.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, it's divided in two parts, so
So
it's more
it's-
like 20 something.
Echoes is 2 parts. I
Echoes-
thought it was
Ec-
just one song.
Echoes is part 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
That
no,
makes
that's
sense.
not a
Yeah, and it-
consistent song.
I know.
But even still, that's
I mean, it was
impressive.
written as one song,
I kind of imagine stuff like, well,
and The Wall was also written as one song.
it
believe
was
or not.
like, I guess that depends on like who makes it, because that approach to me as a writer makes more sense. But if you look at Metallica's Unforgiven, like 1, 2, and 3, those were all written at different times. That guy's getting small.
So I gotta ask, what'd you think?
Good.
Yeah,
I've been kind of more focused on what I've been talking about, so I didn't
you got a buzz?
know.
What about you, Dean?
Smoke's nice.
Also,
Something
some
to
of,
write home about.
some
What's
of the other influence is actually classical. Like, I really loved Beethoven and Mozart and whatnot as a kid. Speaking of that kind of influence too, as well, when I still don't have a release date for it yet, but while I was working on the orchestral stuff for
Dean.
Ruins of Avalon's new album, one of the samples that I use, actually 2 of them that I use in there, are Wagner instruments. Now, Wagner is kind of divisive because he was also a staunch Nazi supporter. His music was played along with their propaganda. But he was also crazy enough that he included 21 cannons as part of one of his compositions. And I've always kind of admired that kind of approach. It's like, you can't do that. Hold my beer. Honestly, I'm working on a new piece currently because I've finally taken the time to actually sit down and work with the 8 string to fully get used to it.
I had an idea.
Mm.
Can you incorporate the sound of a supernova into his song?
I'm sure I could somewhere.
Rob, you don't need the sound of a supernova explosion in your song.
I'm sure I could work it in somewhere.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, the new thing I'm tinkering around with, a few of the ideas I was just kind of like, fuck it, let's see what happens. And the only one that's really heard much of what I've been working on lately is Dean. And that new segment I mentioned yesterday
Yeah.
that I was going to start incorporating, I put some of it in. And I'm not going to work on it unless I have the house to myself. I want to wait till I have that whole section completely
Okay.
finished before any other human hears it. Just because
Okay.
I want to see if I can pull it off, and I want to see if I can do it right. But
He
it's
doesn't want to
working.
embarrass himself. No, I'm kidding.
No, like I'm just like sheerly flying on the seat of my pants with this track and trying to have fun with it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the focus of where I'm trying to go, more of the instrumental video game stuff, but it's fun. And that's also another thing, because since you mentioned this last week, I spent
The
time
MIDI
thinking,
programming
like,
is strong with this one.
brewing on some of this stuff, and a lot of like, not so much my listening habits, because I know that's, I guess, more what the question is, but like as a guitar player, a lot of the stuff I do now, at one point I was like, oh, I'm never going to do that. Like when I first started getting into playing, I was very heavy into AC/DC, so I was like, no, I'm just going to do this and nothing else. Never going to do this, never going to do that. It's stupid. And yeah, me being a dumb kid, I didn't listen to the adults around me. He's like, well, you should branch out. And I kind of did and I kind of didn't. I'm still doing the heavy, loud guitar music, but I never wanted a 7-string. I never wanted a drop tune. I never wanted an 8-string. I never wanted to play bass. I never wanted to do my own production. And yet somehow,
Yeah.
my whole repertoire now and what I excel at is all shit that I never wanted to do at one point. Surprisingly, though, piano was one of the first instruments I got to fuck around with before guitar.
Nice.
If I
Anyway.
if I ever gone down that list for our viewers, like the shit that I can actually like play marginally.
I don't think so.
Oh well. All right. I can. Bleh. Obviously, at this point, it's pretty well known. I'm mostly a guitar player. I can play variations of it from like 6 to 8 string. Bass guitar too. Apparently, I'm halfway decent bassist. Drums. If I had a complete set and had it fully set up and actually practiced with it regularly, I'd be competent at that. Piano, mandolin, I just got to crack it open and get practicing again. And I've been trying to learn violin, but that's just kind of honestly sat around because of time. That and the one I have, the intonation on it sucks and it won't hold pitch properly. And if anyone else other than myself knows how a violin works, it's got no frets. So I have to physically memorize where the notes are supposed to be without the fret markers. And if you don't hold you can't hold a pitch, those notes shift. It's a fun challenge to train my ear, but not so much for the physical practicality of playing the fucking instrument.
I mean, get stoned and figure it out.
No, I've tried. I can't with the way that unless
No, I'm saying make it a game. Fucking get stoned and just be like, all right, we're going to guess where the note is today.
yeah, that's the fucky part because I have broken it out here and there, and when I can get it to hold a somewhat stable tune, I can figure shit out relatively fast. It's just bowing technique. Like the technique of bowing is so much different than picking for a guitar. It's fucking nuts. Once I can finally hash that out, the last thing I was attempting to learn that I was actually kind of getting was Binks's Brew from One Piece.
Oh, cool.
One of the songs that Brooke sings all the time. Yeah, I'm an anime nerd.
I mean, we all knew that. I mean, that's kind of a given. We knew that.
But I guess the short of the long of it is I'm more of just kind of a music fan. Yeah, I've had my phases of being like completely ignorant and single-minded when it comes to it, but I guess learning more about theory and how just music works in and of itself, it allowed me to finally appreciate the other genre, like everything else, from a different standpoint. That's why a lot of people look at me weird because I primarily, like I said, I make music. It just happens to have distortion on it. They find it weird that I'll sit there and jam to George Michael just like I would fucking Cannibal Corpse. It's like I like music. If I like the song, I like the song.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. There should be. Biggest moral of my story is there is no guilty pleasure when it comes to music. If you like it, you like it.
I mean,
We're all drawing from the same tools. It's all presentation.
I mean, unless you like
Packaging.
70s porno music, then I guess there's a little bit of guilty pleasure there.
I had to make a song that sounded like that once.
You did?
Yeah, it was a long time ago for like a short internet thing.
It was
God,
for a short internet thing.
It was just a short little segment. He's like, all right, imagine like 70s porn music. So I did the best that I could. It's for
Short little online segment.
Slap it,
with
bass.
some 70s porn.
Slap
Yeah,
it, bass.
slap the bass. Yeah, that's what we call it
It was
nowadays.
for my buddy Justin years ago. He's a lot like us.
He says, oh yeah.
He's become a bit more of a family man over the years, and I respect him. I respect the shit out of him for it. But also at the same time, I know this man, and knowing who he is now, it's like, the fuck? I've seen some of the shit you've
180.
done.
Yo, bro, I kind of
I've had moments with that man, him and his wife as well. We've had a few interesting bonding moments over the years, and I'll just kind of leave it at that.
yeah,
That's a story for not on air.
yeah.
That's a story for not on air.
Okay, that's a piece of curiosity right there, people.
Needless to say, it would
Frank's
embarrass
eyes just
it would
wide.
embarrass the shit out of his wife more than it would mirror him. But I still remember it, and I bet you he does. I know she does.
The euphemisms here are abundant. You have no idea the amount of yes, you do. You know the amount of jokes I could make. You want to fill the next hour?
He's gonna explode.
I'm bubbling right now.
Oh wow!
Oh, was it a hard night?
No, not entirely. Like I said, that's a story for off air.
Oh, I can make jokes without giving any information away. Anyway. Oh my fucking god.
Oh, this has been an episode.
Now that we got our morning.
I don't know. Did I even remotely answer the question?
Why is your cat trying to get in your couch?
She's a dumbass.
Her paw was 3 inches into the couch. Like into the couch.
She's a dumbass. No, did I even remotely come close to answering the question? Because we're already like over an hour. This is a long one.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you did talk about a few bands. You know, I guess people got food for thought. If you're curious to where Rob gets his musical interest from,
Feel
definitely
free
go
to-
check them out.
Yeah,
Dean?
just feel free to get a hold of me and pick my brain.
Yeah, Dean, we kind of covered his early in this episode. I can't remember it because of other things that happened.
It's been a long one.
I do remember Sabbath.
Sleep.
Everybody loves Sabbath.
Everyone loves Sabbath.
And if you don't love Sabbath, you can go fuck yourself. I mean, you can hop on a crazy train. We're not child friendly here, by
That's
the way, people.
Ozzy, bud.
What?
That's Ozzy, bud.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Not to me, it doesn't.
There is a big difference between Ozzy's solo music and Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I know. You can still hop on a crazy train that runs next to the highway and take yourself straight to hell.
Jesus Christ.
Just don't be too paranoid.
Yeah. And I mean, you can join the war pigs down there.
As long as it's not mob rules.
I think that's about 4 different bands.
No, that was all Black Sabbath.
No, it wasn't. So
There's Black Sabbath,
And
Ozzy, and
AC/DC.
AC/DC.
Oh, ACDC. Oh, ACDC.
I was trying to make Rob's brain hurt real quick.
Well, that did the trick. That did the
He
trick.
told me to stick to Black Sabbath, so I threw in some other references. You know what I'm saying?
Well, luckily I'm not doing any heavy lifting after this mentally. I got some more editing to do and drills.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right. Well.
It's
So
definitely one of our longer episodes.
So let me get a recap. We only smoked that one joint that I said we
Really?
were going to try.
Yeah.
You feel pretty good now, don't you?
No, I don't have a buzz at all. I'm surprised the time's gone by the way it has. I thought we smoked more than just the one.
No.
I've been kind of rambling.
You got a buzz?
I mean, I had a nice one, I guess.
No. At least not. I may have. I just didn't notice. You got me talking about music.
Yeah. I don't think this weed is. I mean, it's
It's
good.
not bad. It wasn't the stuff we had last night.
Yeah.
Then yeah, it's. I remember last night. You got me mentally distracted, so I couldn't focus on it. But no, it is decent.
It's nothing to write home about.
No.
It is good weed that will get you high, though. So I will report back to my boss. We may or may not have it on the shelf. If we do, it'll probably be on our lower tier stuff, kind of like with our hash plant 88 and the creamsicle and the G13 and the pistache. They're good weeds. They're just on the cheaper end. Nothing special to write home about. Definitely not the pink runts or the lemon haze. Those are names that you keep in your fucking mind. The Mendo Perps. Oh fuck. Those are good buds. Apricot OG. I wish we still had the APOG. I love that stuff. Apricot OG. That shit was great. But it's good weed. It'll get you high. Definitely save you a couple bucks out of your pocket too. So I'll report back to the boss and we will see if we get it. And I mean, it didn't taste bad at all. Actually, it tasted pretty good. So there's your weekly weed report. Dean, you got anything you'd like to add?
No, we've had a pretty good episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had a pretty good episode the other night.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden, I wasn't there anymore. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Fucking shenanigans.
Yeah. Marijuana represses your dreams.
Yes, it does.
That's why I've never became a millionaire. It's always been my dream. Is that not that kind of dream, you moron? Anyway, we are going to see you guys next week. We have run out of shit to talk. Actually, that's not true. We got a whole bunch of shit to talk about, but we've run out of time. So
We were well. We never really had a concrete
Time limit.
Yeah, we just kind
we've
of.
had hour-long episodes before.
This is over an hour, bud.
Yeah, we've done that.
I don't think we have.
I'm pretty sure there's
We've
one that's
come
like hour
close.
and 10 or something like that.
I don't think we. Oh, maybe. I don't know. This is what episode?
30 fucking 6.
It's either 34 or 35.
No, we released episode 34 just recently. I think I just.
Then yeah, we're 35.
I think
Then.
this is 35. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I just shared 34 all over Facebook. So go to fucking Facebook if you can't find it and click the link. I love you guys, but tell your friends to come listen to us. We're funny at times, especially when we stutter and can't remember what we're like fucking actually supposed to be doing.
I mean, probably the biggest drawback is the dead air we have sometimes, just
It's
because.
not true. It's dramatic. Pause.
Pause.
We're taking our time, folks. We're pacing ourselves. We're just a group of stoners. You gotta give us a little bit of a break. We
Can
gotta
I get
pace
sued for
ourselves.
that? Because we all know where
Gotta
that
skip
came
on that
from.
synapse
No.
sometimes.
All my synapses. Anyway, we'll see y'all next week. And again with that C shit.
See?
Yeah, because we don't ever actually see anybody.
Oh, yeah.
I fucked Rob's brain last week when you weren't here, bro. At the very end of the episode, I said, we'll see y'all next week. Actually, ever notice we always say we'll see y'all next week, but we never actually see anybody. And we don't even hear from you. You're listening to us.
Pretty much.
Occasionally, we'll get a comment.
Yeah.
But we'll see y'all next week. Yeah. And it made Rob's brain hurt.
Yeah, because it didn't click until he said something.
We always use that term. And it's not just like here, but everybody uses that term. Like, think about how many radio hosts. All right, we'll see y'all next week. You're on the radio, bro.
We ain't
You
seeing
are-
shit.
We might see you if you got a video, but you are not going to see us. We'll hear you. And it's like, wait a minute. Why do we do that?
Well, I mean, depending on what drugs you're taking, you can see the radio.
That's very true. I do not advocate for psychedelics in any ways, unless you're talking about marijuana.
And for our
Or
LSD
volume.
listeners, we will see you next week.
All right, everybody, have a good week.
Later.
We are out.